You know what you should do? You should follow me on Twitter at Bromo018. Link in the description. Do it now. After covering Manager Career Mode and potential new leagues for our wishlist series for FIFA 20, we now switch our focus towards Player Career Mode. Now I have to say, I've always been a big fan of the foundation of this mode. I've always loved playing as my own created player down the years, but I've just fell out of love with it due to EA's lack of interest in adding features and improving it. In fact, it was in a recent video about career mode bugs that I stated I wasn't going to play it again for the rest of FIFA 19 because of the fact that EA still haven't addressed the issue of not receiving transfer offers, which is ruining my experience and the experience of plenty other Player Career Mode fans. Despite this, however, I still always live in hope that things will change with every new edition of FIFA that comes out each year. With news that the journey has now ran its course, perhaps they will now shift their focus back onto career mode to adapt it to things they implemented throughout the journey over its 3-year lifespan. So, with that in mind, let's get into some of the suggestions that I have for Player Career Mode. Just a quick note, if you're yet to check out my Ajax Career Mode series on FIFA 19, then be sure to give that a look after this Player Career Mode wishlist. I'll leave a link to the playlist in the description. As always, if you have any suggestions for improvements that you would like to see made to Player Career Mode on FIFA, then make sure that you let me know in the comment section down below. Although, please bear in mind that I do have a long list of features to talk about and they won't all be in the first part. With that in mind, let's begin. If you've watched my previous wishlist videos, then you'll know that we split these into sections. First off, I want to talk about your My Player Career section. This revolves around your career itself and the direction you can go. First off, I'd like to see a feature where you as the player can negotiate your contract length and wage you receive. With the contract length, you then have the option to run it down and leave the club as a free agent. You would then be able to take as much time out of the game as possible and wait for the right club and offer to come your way. This is something that I desperately want to see added to the mode because it truly would give you a sense of freedom and choice to forge your own career rather than always being forced to play for a club that you perhaps don't want to be at. Next up, I want to see the limit to how many offers you can have at any one time removed. Currently, you can only have one outstanding offer and you must either reject or accept it to receive another one. This doesn't make any sense in my opinion because it means you have to take a risk and can't analyse your options because you only have one. If you want to move but holding out for a different club than the one that has come in for you, then you should be able to wait and see if your team of choice makes an offer before you accept or reject the original. Linking to that, a feature where you can state your desire to move to a certain club in the hope that they will react to that and submit a bid for you would be great. There are plenty of real world examples of a player holding out for a move, the club in question hearing that and then reacting by going in for him. It just makes sense. Of course, it wouldn't always be the case because the footballing world isn't an ideal one. You may state your desire and nothing comes of it, but it would at least be an option to try and get that transfer you so desperately want. After that, I'd also like to see a feature where on top of your contract, you can negotiate sponsorship with various different companies such as Adidas, Nike and many more. This would have a direct effect on the apparel you wear, we'll move on to that shortly, the boots you wear and also your finances. We'll also come on to that later on in the series. This is a fundamental part of an athlete's life and it is something that we have already seen replicated in the Journey game mode across the 3 installments. So we already know what the thinking is there. Moving on from my player career aspects now, I have 3 separate topics that are too big to go under any others and I'll release one of them right now in this first installment of the wishlist, and that is free roam. Free roam is something that has been highly requested from the career mode fanbase, not only because of the appeal of the feature, but also because we are now seeing it in other sports franchise video games, and we feel like EA now needs to get with the times and take the next step. The likes of NBA 2K and WWE 2K both feature this for their respective career game modes. With the free roam feature in FIFA, you'll be able to walk around places such as the training ground, the stadium on a match day, your house. Yes, you can buy a house with the finances you're receiving. Now people may think this is a bit fantastical, but this is actually the direction that gaming is now going. People are looking for depth and realism, and this is all a part of that. EA have this technology. They have the free roam games from their BioWare division and the likes of the Sims franchise for the finances and the houses, etc. They've already alluded to this sort of thing with the Journey. Alex Hunter is regularly based in his house. Even the home hub for the game mode is set in his different houses. Yes, you couldn't free roam, but that's all about growing and improving it. That's the next step. It's where 2K are taking their sports games, and now it's time for EA Sports to do the same. You'll be able to customise your character's clothing attire. If you have a sponsorship deal with Nike, for example, it will be in your contract that you have to wear some form of Nike apparel in your attire, and you'll have to abide by that when choosing your outfits. This line of thinking is certainly what the fans are looking for, in my opinion. Moving on from free roam, we now have player customization. The customization features on FIFA are okay, but there's a lot more that can be done in order to improve it and bring it up to speed. For one, I'd like to be able to add more details when creating your player. For example, your player's favourite club and his hometown. These would add to storylines, which we're going to talk about in the next part of our player career wishlist, so make sure you tune into that, by the way. On top of that, I would like to see greater license for hair customization available to us in the game. The ability to customize the back and the sides of your player's hairstyle separate to the top is something in particular that I'm looking for. This is a feature in Pro Evolution Soccer's Become a Legend game mode, although that has far fewer hairstyles available to choose from in it. It would certainly allow you greater choice to pick how you really want him to look. Next up is something that is highly recommended from the career mode community is tattoos. We've now seen them added to real players that already have them, but are yet to see the feature introduced to player customization when creating your own. It was actually available in the Journey, but of course they added good features to that without also implementing them into player career mode, or even pro clubs for that matter. Another change I want to see to player customization is the starting age. In career mode, the minimum age you can begin your save as is 20, which is ridiculous in my opinion. Some players already have double figures in caps for their country by that age. Others have already won major titles and European trophies. You're essentially skipping 4 very important years of a player's career and taking it away from yours as well. For me, the better way to go about this is to have the minimum starting age as a 16-year-old rather than a 20-year-old. I feel this would make much more sense. After that, I feel an important addition would be the ability to change your position midway through your save, and also add new positions. This is just such a massive part of football. We see players rotated and changed all of the time, but that isn't represented in FIFA. Sometimes you might get a bit bored of the same position and want to switch it up a bit. Maybe move out onto the wing or switch the wing that you play on. It doesn't have to be a dramatic change. With the AI manager unwilling to rotate you, this is how you would be able to affect it. That would be one of the most needed changes in my opinion. Finally, I like the option to be able to select a couple of players in the game that are idols for your created player. You may be wondering why, but this is something that would play a very big role later on down the line. This will link into storylines topic, which I'm going to talk about at the beginning of part 2. So make sure that you come back for that. And if you're watching this video when it's already out, then check that out at the end of this video. But for now guys, it's time to round part 1 off there. If you've enjoyed the video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more regular gaming content. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter using the Twitter handle at Bromo018. The link is in the description. And also check out my FIFA 19 Ajax career mode that's currently ongoing. On that note, it's time to round it off there. I'm Bromo18, and I'll see you soon.